Hi friends, I'm here today to tell you a little bit about a couple of programs that we have, one that you may be familiar with and a different program model that maybe you'd like to hear a little bit more about. So we have something called Educator Core and we have something called Community Core. And the program that you're probably most familiar with is Community Core. Community Core is where we take a member, a tutor from the community, and we bring them in as sort of an extra set of hands in your school to help with those interventions in reading and math. We have another option that we've applied and we've received grant funding for called Educator Core. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more about this model as we expand it across our state. You'll notice in this chart that they look almost identical, and that's because they really are almost identical programs. So over the years, as you might know, my mom was a principal and she was very frustrated with us at the time. And she said, if we know that this is such a good evidence-based program, why can't we use it in our schools, even when we can't find a tutor in the community? And if she were still principaling, I would be able to tell her now we can. We know that in our schools, sometimes we've already hired all the real great people in our community to work in our schools. And we might be thinking about like, how could we level up the interventions that they're doing with our students? So that would be Educator Core. Educator Core is when you have an employee and you can protect a few hours of their time per day to do either reading or math core. And so what that looks like is rather than them earning the monthly living allowance that's part of that community core, since they're already earning a wage from your district, that wouldn't be part of the cost and it wouldn't be part of the programming. So in lieu of that, in order to get access to the program, we do have to charge a little bit. It's $2,500 per tutor to have access to the learning management system, which is the training, the reading and math data system. So those are important. We know we like to see those graphs, right, in that progress monitoring, the assessment, and the coaching model. Everything is the same between the two programs. You still need an internal coach. We'll still come visit you from your REA to provide that regional coaching specialist kind of training, that literacy and math coaching specialist training. Everything else is the same as far as the number of hour slots that you can choose from. They can choose a 900-hour slot. If you want this person to be doing reading and math core all day long, you can choose that. If you just have a couple of hours a day, then you can choose that. There still is the education award for the tutor. So that's a really great benefit, especially for those of you who might have part-time students or full-time students working in your buildings. Maybe you have some parent to teacher pipeline people and they've got a little chunk of their day where they have some time. This might be a really good option that also helps them with their tuition once they complete their service at the end of the year. So remember that education award can be used on yourself, previous loans, future loans. There's a time frame there. And then if you start the service year and you're 55 and older, you can gift that education award to your child or grandchild. So that's another great benefit. Duties, again, these look the same. The one thing we really need to be cautious of for Educator Core is just like Reading Core, the time that Reading Core tutor from the community is doing just those Reading Core or Math Core duties, the same would be true with Educator Core. So we'd want to pick out a good chunk of time where that tutor can be sure that their time is protected and they're only doing Reading or Math Core during, let's say, from 8 to 10, during the day, or maybe from 1 to 3, you're having those tutoring hours. That would be a really great option. So as you fill out your host site application this year, we hope that this is a program that you're considering. If it's been very difficult to find community core tutors in your community, this might be an option for you that really works and helps you get access to that evidence-based reading and math intervention that we know that your students need in Tier 2. Please let us know if you have additional questions. Otherwise, thanks for watching.